When my back was turned, a predator had took it upon themselves to trick my daughter.
A heinous crime. A young child assaulted in a public restroom.
Mr. DeWeese, I am disgusted by you. Your actions will forever affect our lives. I don't think you are redeemable. I think you like hurting kids.
And now an admission and a shocking confession from the perp himself. I'm Angenette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. There is a young girl in Ohio dealing with an incredibly traumatic event, something that will likely stay with her for the rest of her life. The little girl was in a store shopping with her mom when an ex-con, fresh out of prison, sexually assaulted her. Now that man who was accused of the crime has admitted to it. Robert DeWeese is a repeat offender. He's followed a young girl around a store in the past and went to prison for it. And now he's going back there. I've told you about Robert DeWeese previously. The footage of DeWeese roaming around the Five Below store in South Lebanon, Ohio, a suburb of Cincinnati, is chilling. It was February 6th, 2026. Robert DeWeese had been released from prison 3 days earlier after serving time for a sex offense.
Hello. You the one that's called?
Yeah.
What can I help you out with?
So we came to get some items here.
Okay.
For our piano.
Okay.
She had to go to the bathroom. We took her back to the bathroom. She had to go really bad. She had an accident. So
Okay.
I locked the door. I told her to lock the door behind me, and
Okay.
I went out to the clothing area to get something that had my things to help because I don't want to take a backpack or anything. She says a man knocked on the door,
Okay.
came in, and touched her.
Okay.
And then after she yelled at him,
We can go somewhere. If you want
to keep it, we can go somewhere else.
I'm the manager.
Okay. All right.
after she yelled at him, that he left.
Okay.
I believe I may know which gentleman it was, but I'm not 100% sure. So
It's kind of sketchy. See, yep.
Hey, Sam, 18,
Yeah.
you want?
See, there you go.
If you can print off that would be
Hey, Sam, 18.
absolutely fabulous to get us started
Yeah,
wise.
right.
You know what's crazy?
I mean, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go. We'll do this.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last people that was here for a theft, they just took a picture.
I'm going to also take a picture this way. Alright, pause it right there.
Yep.
That's about 3 o'clock she exits.
Yeah,
The code stuff's still in there.
yeah, okay.
So she's in block.
I can back that up just a little bit for you.
No, I'm just gonna put approximately. That's when she goes. Okay. Well, but we still haven't seen the mail yet. So she's leaving the restroom at approximately 3,
Yeah.
and then I'm assuming she re-enters.
And then there's also a camera that faces that hallway also.
Okay. All right. Then all right.
Okay.
And then mom returns. The daughter's wearing fully clothed, right?
Yeah, full clothes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
and then
That's within seconds, isn't it?
Yes.
So mom's in there, and daughter's in there, and also
that was 3:58. That was 3:45,
Yeah.
and within seconds. So,
and so 30 3:02. She's out the door. All right. So that's 3:02. What was that? 3:02. He returns. You can pause it for a second here. You don't mind? I'm just gonna looks like he knocked and then grabbed door handle. Would you agree?
yeah.
Yep.
Thumb drive.
Oh. And he looks at the camera again. Oh. Oh. Jeez. Oh. So yeah, that's weird. That he knows what he's doing, but yet he's still looking at the cameras and
So
stuff.
he did grab the door handle.
Yeah, he knocked several times. I mean, like walking by.
Yep, he's
Enters. Okay, good. So what? What time did he actually get? It was about, what, 3:02,
3:02.
44.
So it was about 30.
He's totally in the bathroom.
Yeah, about 44, yeah.
Deputies tracked down Robert DeWeese, and he was arrested near the home where he was living with his brother. Deputies placed him in the back of a cruiser, a familiar place for DeWeese. He's back in cuffs after being released from prison 3 days before. A grand jury indicted DeWeese on 2 counts of rape, 2 counts of gross sexual imposition, 1 count of kidnapping, and 1 count of abduction. There were specifications that come with those charges. The grand jurors found that DeWeese is a sexually violent predator. Now, months later, and after Robert DeWeese's attorney explored an insanity defense, Robert DeWeese has admitted to stalking the little girl, just 6 years old, so he could sexually assault her.
We are here today for what's now a plea. We were here for a conference, and it's now ended in a plea. So I want to go over the plea as I understand it. First of all, Mr. DeWeese is acknowledging that he is proceeding voluntarily and has been advised and understands the charges and the possible penalties and his constitutional rights. Have you gone over those things with him, Mr. Brenner?
I have, Your Honor.
I will go over his constitutional rights and the same again, but I wanted to make sure he understood those. According to this, Mr. DeWeese is pleading guilty to the following counts. Count 2, rape by force or threat of force. That is amended. And it's 2907.02A2. That has a maximum prison term of 11 to 16 and a half years. It's called an indeterminate sentence. I'll explain that in just a moment. This has a maximum fine of $20,000, and there is a presumption that prison is necessary on that charge. On count 3, the plea will be guilty to gross sexual imposition with a victim under 13 years of age and a prior conviction for gross sexual imposition with a victim under 13 years of age. That carries a maximum prison term of 60 months, a maximum fine of $10,000, and that is a mandatory required prison term. On count 5, kidnapping, that carries a maximum of 11 to 16 and a half indefinite term, maximum fine of $20,000 with the presumption that prison is necessary. That also has a sexual motivation specification attached to that charge. On count 6, abduction, that carries a maximum prison term of 36 months, a maximum fine of $10,000. No presumption either way on prison.
Robert DeWeese is going to prison for a very long time, 30 to 35 years. And while he admitted to the crime and pleaded guilty, he made it clear that he feels like he's getting a raw deal.
Have you had enough time to speak with Mr. Brenner about this matter?
Yes.
Do you feel you're making this decision of your own free will without any pressure from anyone?
No, I do feel pressure, but I'm willing to take it.
Okay, well, let's talk about that for a minute. What pressure do you feel?
I feel like that I'm getting not the best deal.
Can you speak up a little?
I'm not really feeling like I'm getting the best deal, a fair deal in this matter. I
Okay.
feel like that I don't have any other option but to do this.
Well, you do have one option. You have a right to have a trial in this matter. The result could be different as far as the penalty. You could, if the state cannot prove these facts against you beyond a reasonable doubt, then they would not be able to obtain a guilty verdict against you. But if they can, and they do, then there would be greater penalties. So that's,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to make sure that you feel that you're making this decision voluntarily without anyone pressuring you to do it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're doing it voluntarily?
Yes.
Okay.
No parent, and certainly no child, should have to endure what this young survivor and her family have. The girl's mother spoke about how Robert DeWeese stole her daughter's innocence.
Mommy, I don't want this memory anymore. Mommy, I'm scared. These are the words that my 6-year-old daughter told me on February 6th, 2026, when we were waiting for a police officer at 5 Below in South Lebanon. As a mother, I never want my child to be scared or harmed. That day, there was a lot of both. We had gone to 5 Below just around 3 p.m. to get headphones for a new electric piano that my daughter had. While there, my daughter had an accident while using the restroom. Little did we know, after holding the door open for us, that the same person had been following us. They followed me and my daughter to the back of the store. We were stalked and spied upon as the door was closed. Later, seeing the store camera footage, I saw the image that I saw turned my stomach. I saw us being followed, having someone listen outside the door, seeing that same person touching themselves in the hallway as I stood inside that locked restroom, trying to make my distraught daughter feel better about something that had very rarely happened to her. But the most nauseating thing was that, when my back was turned, a predator had took it upon themselves to trick my daughter. I had told my daughter that I would find her new pants if I could. I wanted to protect her dignity, so I left the room and instructed her to lock it and not open the door unless I came and knocked in a very particular manner. But a predator had been listening in on our conversation, and within seconds of me leaving that restroom, our stalker came back and was knocking on that door, not just once or twice, but 4 separate times. My rule-following daughter decided to open the door, thinking it was me, as she had been instructed, but that was all it took. A predator had found us, stalked us, and then used an identified opening to take advantage and assault my daughter. When my daughter left that restroom, she was angry. She yelled at me and cried. Once outside, she told me that a man had come in and touched her in her vulva. I learned that she had used her lion's roar instruction training, and that man had run away. My heart broke, and I panicked, and I ran into the store and called the police. Our world had been turned upside down.
The little girl's mother talked about having to take her 6-year-old daughter to Children's Hospital to have a rape kit exam performed, and then concerns later that her daughter might have contracted a sexually transmitted disease.
There was redness, swelling, pain, and again my daughter cried to me, and she told me that she was angry and scared. And when we eventually had to have a blood test done to confirm that no STDs were found, she was further traumatized by having to be held down so that nurses could get the necessary blood sample to do the testing. The following weeks were filled with even more doctor strips. We started trauma therapy on February 20th, and then we quickly upped the number of visits to twice weekly. These took her out of class, and she started complaining about stomach aches, headaches, and the inability to focus. We took her to her PCP to see if anything else could be the cause, and we took her to an optometrist to see if the headaches were a result of needing glasses. Everything pointed back to the physical reaction due to the violation she experienced on February 20th, or February 6th. This slowly evolved further. She doesn't sleep in her bed anymore, opting to come to my bedroom to co-sleep because she doesn't want to be alone. She asks if her bad guy can make fake money and escape to hurt other families. She has trouble trusting other people, including adults, and during a trip to a local indoor playground, she came to me sobbing and said, "I don't want to be here anymore. I have no one that I know. I can't trust anyone." And we left one of her favorite places within 30 minutes of arriving. The cycle has continued since then, with her having good days and bad days, and on one particularly bad day when we had gone to COSI, she started exhibiting stress symptoms and anxiety about being in public. That's when she told her brother about the incident for the very first time. While in a single-stall bathroom, her brother was being silly, and she became enraged and yelled at him to not open the door. She said, "Don't do that. It's very dangerous. You should never, ever open the door when you're in the bathroom. It can cause really scary and bad situations like the one I was in. A man came in the bathroom and hurt me. Don't open the door. You need to be safe and make sure you are addressed and with your mom." In that moment, through her pain and fear and anxiety, my daughter was trying her best to protect her brother. She's a brave and strong girl. This hearing today is not the end of my daughter's story. We have more trauma counseling and recovery ahead as we hope to improve my daughter's health. But I've been asked to pass along the following message to Mr. DeWeese. My daughter says, "You're a bad guy. I don't know why you choose to hurt kids. Stop doing it." And for me as a mother, I would like to say, Mr. DeWeese, I'm disgusted by you. Your actions will forever affect our lives. I don't think you are redeemable. I think you like hurting kids and that you're a predator. I think that you're a danger to society and you need to reflect on your actions and you should never go around another child again.
The prosecutor explained why Robert DeWeese needed to serve a lengthy prison sentence.
The defendant's conduct on February 6th was that of a predator. He did exactly as Ms. Fink described and followed them into the bathroom where he encountered the victim while in the bathroom and sexually assaulted her. He has a history of multiple convictions for gross sexual imposition, multiple convictions for voyeurism, convictions for public indecency, convictions for failure to notify and failure to register under his sex offender registration requirements. He has been on post-release control on numerous occasions and has violated every time. He is a danger to society, and we would ask the court impose the 30 to 35 and a half year sentence as agreed upon.
And then Robert DeWeese, the man who violated this little girl, was offered the chance to speak, to say something, anything, to try to offer an apology.
All right, thank you. Mr. DeWeese, is there anything you would like to say, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I didn't even know that I hurt you guys that bad. And there's nothing I could do to change that. I feel horrible due to my mental health problems. I did something I didn't even realize what I was doing. And I wrote you this letter to try to read to you. I just want to say that there is no words to tell you just how sorry I am for what happened. And I would literally do anything to go back in time and change things. I want you to know that I never meant to harm anyone, and I genuinely am sorry from the bottom of my heart. I don't know if you believe in God, but God can fix and heal everything, because with God all things are possible. I pray that you have a good and wonderful life after this, and that nothing stops you from making all your dreams come true. I'm not a mean person, I want you to know that, and I wish you nothing but the best of it in your life. I hope you find love, joy, and happiness after this, and never look back. I know that today my life will never be the same, and this is the very worst day of my life. But I just pray that you can find peace and happiness in your life. And I hope you know that God will help you and be there for you and your daughter and everything you do in your life. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I'm sorry, and I hope that you know again, I'm deeply, deeply sorry for everything that happened. Thank you for your time. And I pray that you will forgive me one day. I had no clue how bad I hurt you guys. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Is that all?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I didn't realize how much damage I caused, I didn't even realize that when I was doing it, I felt like I wasn't even there. And I woke up after this happened, and as soon as it happened, I said, I'm sorry to the girl. I said, I'm sorry. And I meant that. I felt scared, and I didn't know what was going on until after it all happened. I feel terrible. I'm going to have to live the rest of my life with what I did, and I wish I could take it back. I do. I'm scared, I know what happened is not good, but I hope you'll have mercy on me and understand a little bit where I'm coming from. I feel sick. I wish I could take it back. That girl didn't deserve that, I'm not a mean person. I believe in God. I wish that it didn't happen. And I pray that everything will be healed one day, and that you'll have mercy on me. And I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Many times these mental health issues are over our head.
Yeah.
The bottom line is you're not going to be in a position to harm anyone else, and maybe you can find some satisfaction in that. If you cannot control yourself, then you can't harm other people. So you know that you have to be somewhere where this cannot happen again. That's part of the purposes of the law and protecting the public in this case, and it applies to the sentences that you're receiving here today.
Yeah.
I try to understand what you're saying and expect you do regret it. I hope it's for the proper purpose, and I'll take you for your word at that. But you can't do this.
You're right, Your Honor.
So this is the only way in society we can deal with this.
Robert DeWeese's public defender spoke on his behalf, trying to offer some type of explanation for his client.
Throughout the pendency of this case, I have gotten to know Mr. DeWeese. I have spoken with family members of his. Now, none of this is an excuse, and obviously this was a horrible crime and event, and I know that Mr. DeWeese, for what it's worth, is sorry for having done this. I think when you ask him why he did this, I'm not even sure that he's able to answer that. I think there's some kind of compulsion going on here. And I think that, when talking with him about his childhood, he's had a difficult life. And obviously that doesn't excuse victimizing other people. But I did want to make the court aware. His father passed when he was 5. His mother left. He bounced around from foster home to foster home. He went to numerous schools because he really didn't have a home. Then as he transitioned into adulthood, he continued to struggle with homelessness and kind of rootlessness and aimlessness. Obviously started picking up criminal charges, and here we are. I know there were some mental health motions filed in this case, and I think that a large part of Mr. DeWeese's issues, not just with criminal offenses, but with failing to follow the rules of post-release control in the past, with failing to find kind of a role for himself in society, I think stem in large part from his mental health issues. I think in the present situation, I've spoken with his brother. He had been, I know the court's aware, he was released from prison 3 days prior to this incident. When he was released, he was 5 hours from home. He was given $100 and put on a bus. He came down here. That during that time there was a snow emergency. He was trying to gain some kind of transitional housing and wasn't able to enter that program due to the snow emergency. And so I think it's tragic and horrible for the victim in this case. And I know Mr. DeWeese is apologetic for that. And I know he wants to apologize personally.
Judge Robert Peeler agreed to order Robert DeWeese to pay restitution of $5,000 for the victim's counseling and medical bills.
Your Honor, we don't have an objection to that number. We're not going to object to the restitution request at this time.
Do you understand what he's saying, sir?
Yeah, I don't have that much money.
No, but there's going to be an order that you repay that amount of money. Basically, you won't be able to repay it while you're incarcerated unless you somehow come into possession of that amount of money. But there will be an order that you do that.
And then it came time for Robert DeWeese to be formally sentenced.
So this is the only way in society we can deal with this. Sentence in count 2 is 11 to 16 and a half years. The sentence in count 3 is 60 months to be served consecutive to the sentence in count 2. The sentence in count 5 is 11 years in prison. The sentence shall be served consecutive to the sentences in counts 2 and 3. The sentence in count 6 is 36 months in prison to be served consecutive to the sentence in count 2, 3, and 5 for an aggregate sentence minimum definite term of 30 to a maximum indefinite term of 35 and a half years in prison. Now, I've gone over the explanation of the indefinite term, meaning the difference between 30 and 35 and a half. Mr. Brenner, do you want me to reiterate that for Mr. DeWeese?
I think he understands, Your Honor. We've had a number of conversations about that in the lead up to today.
Okay.
So Robert DeWeese is going back to prison for likely 35 years. The little girl, the survivor in this case, and her family may never be the same, but with time, hopefully they will be able to heal. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.